Being a woman is tough. Women of Excellence with Janeé Hill encourages, equips, and empowers women with real solutions to real issues. From business to family, to health and relationships, work-life balance. If women face it, we address it with heart, humor, and a hands-on approach. Women of Excellence, where laughter meets tough love as we do life together. How many of you want to be a better version of yourself? That's me. Maybe you want to make some small tweaks like adding in fruits and vegetables or being more active or having better control of your finances. Or perhaps there are some bigger changes you want to make. You want to have a new career, or you would like to save enough money to have a house, or you've got a relationship that's on the rocks and you want to do everything you can to repair it. Whatever changes you're looking to make in your life, you can do it. And over the next few sessions, we are going to dive into my book, Diary of an Unbroken Heart, Simple Keys to Complex Change, as we go step by step on how to make changes. Now, I am not a therapist. I don't have a doctorate in psychology. But if life experience gives you any credibility, then I would definitely have a doctorate in change. Because through a lot of hard work and God's grace, I have experienced a lot of changes in my life. I have gone from a woman who operates out of fear and insecurity and control and pride to a woman who stands in strength and confidence and trusting in the Lord with my future. I've also gone from a gal who felt really confined in my job in corporate America to a lady who loves my work by being an entrepreneur and then having a nonprofit and a ministry to help women. So whatever changes you're looking to make, I encourage you to dig deep, dive in with me as we work through Diary of an Unbroken Heart. You can purchase it on Amazon. It's going to have different questions. It's more of a workbook. And I would encourage you to get it as we move along through these sessions. Each week, I'm going to be giving you a new key, one of those simple keys. But like I said, they may be simple, but they are not easy. And in fact, the more you're willing to dig deep, you're going to find that the more significant and sustainable changes you're able to make. And by the way, the harder it's going to be. So grab my book, Diary of an Unbroken Heart, on Amazon. Listen weekly, and let's see what God does. Now, I know some of you out there are already thinking, Janeé, you don't know me. I've tried to make changes before and it's never worked. Or maybe I made some changes, but they didn't last. Hey guys, I've been there too. It was like every January, I made New Year's resolutions. And then within a few weeks, all of those resolutions were out the door until I surrendered to a process that worked. And I committed to a journey that was going to be difficult. And so if you are ready, hold on and get ready to be the best version of yourself. Now, if you're an overachiever like me, you may want to work through the workbook at record pace, and you may want to listen and watch all of these sessions in one sitting. Do not do that. It is going to take small, consistent steps over time to produce long-lasting change. And that's why I'm going to suggest that we do one key a week, one session a week. In addition to moving at a slow pace, there are a couple of other things that this process is going to take. I like to call it the 4 C's. The first one is commitment. And if you look at what commitment means, it means engagement. It means involvement. So this is not going to be something that you can just watch me. You're going to actually have to do the work yourself. Are you committed? Even when it's hard, are you going to push through? Now, I will tell you that there are times that I have a little bit of a problem with my commitment level. I start strong, but I don't always stay strong. And that's why you're going to need the second C, which is companions. I would encourage you to let trusted friends or trusted family members know the changes that you want to make for two reasons. Number one, they can hold you accountable. And number two, they can help you through the journey. Now, some of you may be saying, I don't have any companions that I feel comfortable sharing with. I've been there too. And if that's where you are, email me at info@janeehill.com. And I'll see if I don't have one of my Women of Excellence groups that I can connect you with so that you don't have to go this alone. The third C, courage. Courage is being afraid and doing it anyway. I know that when I was making changes in my life, and I still am making changes, I believe that as long as we're here on earth, we should always be learning and growing. But I found that it takes courage, being afraid to look at some stuff that's not so pretty. You're afraid, but you do it anyway. And the fourth C, I'm not going to share with you today. We're actually going to get into that next session. But do you have commitment? Do you have some companions that you can grab to go with you on this journey? And then do you have courage? If so, let's dive in to the first key. Now, before I tell you this first key to making some changes in our life, I'd like to share with you a story. Years ago, I had the privilege to be on the Food Network on a show called Cooks versus Cons. Now, I like to cook. I am by no means a chef. I got voted off in the very first round, if that tells you anything. But that whole process to me was fun. It was fascinating. It pushed me to the next level. And at the end of that process, I got a call from the same people who had cast me on Cooks versus Cons. And they said, Janeé, we have an opportunity for you. Would you like to be on the show Food Network's Next Star? And I was like, well, wait, I got cut in the first round of this last show. And they said, we know you did, but we love your personality. And we think that this next opportunity would be really great for you because you're going to learn lots of things about cooking. It would be an opportunity for you to compete to have your own show. And I was like, oh my gracious, this is incredible. And the reason it was incredible is because since the time I was a little girl, I had always had big hopes and dreams for television. And here it was. And I got the contract. My husband and I read over it. And this was like everything that I had ever dreamt of. But the show filmed in New York for 7 weeks. I couldn't see my family for 7 weeks. And you may be thinking, well, that's the price you have to pay for dreams to come true. But I had a 2-year-old at the time. And I wasn't going to be able to see my 2-year-old for almost 2 months. I asked them, is there any way that my husband and my 2-year-old can come? And they said, no. All we can give you are weekly supervised Skype visits. You see, in television, they like to keep everything very confidential so that they maintain the integrity of the program. After a lot of thought, a lot of prayer, a lot of talking to friends, I made a really big choice. I said no. And the reason that I made that choice is because I like to live by a philosophy of no regrets. And if I had taken that opportunity and missed out on those 7 weeks with my child, I don't think I would feel good about that choice. And that is the first key, is making a choice on what you want to change. Now, some of you may be saying, Janeé, that is so basic. I mean, I'm choosing to work out this year. I'm choosing to go for it in my career. But have you really thought about what that means? In this session, we're going to define choice. We're going to look at really what it means to clearly determine our own choices. And then lastly, you're going to get to decide what choice or choices are you ready, willing, and able to commit to. Let's start by defining what it means to choose. Choice means the power to decide. You have power. But oftentimes we give up that power. Here's what I mean by that. If I go back to that Food Network example, if I had said, I can't do this right now, I have to be a mom, I have just given up my power simply by using the word I can't. No, I choose not to. There may be times when you've said, I can't have dessert, I'm on a diet. And then you end up resenting your diet that you put yourself on because you are allowing yourself to be the victim of your circumstances versus the owner of your life. And it is as simple, not easy, but as simple as getting into a mindset of choosing. When we use the mindset of choice, I choose to not go to New York to do this show because my family is first. I choose to get up extra early to have quiet time because I am going to ground myself in my faith. We then start to be more of the leader of our lives instead of simply a manager allowing circumstances to come to life and hit us and throw us in all different directions. For instance, last year in 2020, my husband and I had big plans for going 50 states in 30 days. We were on a great path to make that happen. And then guess what? The coronavirus hit the United States. And so it would be easy to say, we can't go 50 states in 30 days. No. We still could, but we chose not to. So I choose not to do this project right now because it was going to look a lot different than our vision. And just because things are not right now doesn't mean that they are not right for you. Now, who knows? Years from now, I may end up on the Food Network because that was right for me, but it wasn't right now or right then because it was a couple of years ago. So think for a minute. When are some times when you have given up your power to choose and you've taken that sucker's choice of saying, I can't? Maybe it's as recent as today. You said, I can't get out of bed on time. No, you choose to stay in bed longer. Or I can't spend time with my friends because I have to work and I'm a single mom. No, you choose to put your work and your child first so that you can provide. When we get in this mindset of choice, it is amazing how empowered we feel. And if you notice, that word empowered has the word power in it. When are some times that you've given up your power and simply said, I can't, instead of I choose not to? Now, if you're choosing not to get together with your friends and you often use the words I can't, I don't think I would say, hey, friend, I choose to not spend time with you. But rather, have that verbiage in your head. What choices are you making? Who are you choosing to spend time with? Time is our biggest asset. How will we choose to invest it? Yesterday, I had a conversation with a potential client, and she's in corporate America now, and she's considering going out on her own. And she said, Janeé, in the spirit of transparency, I want to let you know that I can't make any moves in the next few months because I'm buying a home. In that statement, she was giving up her power. And I encouraged her, no. You're choosing not to step out on your own yet because you are looking to buy your first home. And she said in that moment, she felt so much more confident and like the owner of her life. And so your assignment for this next week is twofold. First, look at those areas that you have given up your power. You have given up your right to choose. Now, I want to speak for just a minute to addiction, because I've had some people say, Janeé, when you've got an addiction, you don't have the power to choose because it's a disease. Even in an addiction, you have a choice to get help. So I'm not saying you're choosing your addiction, but you do have an opportunity to choose to get help. So first part of the assignment, what are those areas that you have given up your choice? And really start to take it back by incorporating that verbiage choose. And then the second and bigger assignment, what are those choices that you are ready, willing, and able to make to move your life forward? I would encourage you, when you're thinking about the choices that you're ready, willing, and able to make, start small. Make them very specific. So if you say, I'm going to choose to get healthy this year, make that more specific. What does it look like? Is it exercising 3 times a week? And if so, for how long each time? Making it measurable so that you can track your progress. Is it realistic? And is it relevant for where you want to go right now? My husband and I have stepped out into new territory by acquiring a large amount of property in a community called Nocona Hills on Lake Nocona. And originally I thought I was going to get my real estate license. And I was very specific about, I'm going to get my real estate license by the end of the first quarter. So it was specific, it was measurable, it was definitely realistic. But as I looked at my overall values and vision, it wasn't relevant. Yes, I need to have some real estate savviness, but for my long-term goals, I don't want to be selling real estate for the rest of my life. So guess who's going to real estate school? My husband, because that is very relevant to his personal goals. Take a big deep breath. Your mind is probably spinning with all of the times that you have given up choice. You've played the victim. Maybe you've got stuff dating way back to your childhood. I mentioned that from a very early age, I had big dreams of TV, but I'd been made fun of for being creative and for liking performing. And so I allowed some of those negative thoughts to creep in and start to tell me that I can't ever do media. No. I chose not to do media for a long time because I didn't have the strength and confidence within. And so I chose to dig deep and figure some things out before stepping into what I believe the Lord had for me. The power of choice. You have the power to decide. Now, if after today's session you are feeling a little overwhelmed, maybe you realize that now's not the time for you to choose to do anything differently, then tuck away your book. Don't listen to any more of me, because I have found that when you are ready, amazing things can happen. But if you're not really ready, you're probably just wasting your time. Choice, the power to decide. What are you going to choose to change as we dive in for the next several weeks?
If you like what you're hearing, please share this with a friend and follow me at Real Janeé Hill on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.